No one can destroy this wooden dummy in under 10 strikes because in this game, real-world physique and abilities directly affect in-game characters. Millions of players have tried their best, and even elite national athletes have failed this challenge. So now, everyone believes it's nearly impossible to complete. Still, plenty of players want to try, because success grants a 50 million one exclusive game capsule, and 5 points to all ability stats. Just then, the final challenger appears behind the crowd. The so-called strongest guy alive on Earth, who looks more like a monster than a human. Rumor has it he can kill a black bear with his bare hands. He gathers all his strength and throws a punch at the dummy. It gets knocked back but looks completely unharmed. Even the game developers are hoping he'll succeed, because if he fails, it'll definitely cause player dissatisfaction and flood them with negative feedback. Unfortunately, even this massive guy fails to break the wooden dummy and can only scream in rage. Then a random guy from the crowd steps forward. He looks so plain and ordinary that no one believes he has a chance, especially with that cheap shop sword. Yet he slices the wooden dummy clean in half with a single strike, instantly completing the challenge. Even the developers are shocked, but then they notice something. The sword isn't ordinary at all. It's an epic grade weapon called Radiant Light, and it's impossible to obtain a sword like this in the beginner area, so who the hell is he? And how did he get that sword? Well, his name is Hyun-soo. He's the best blacksmith in the world, and he made that sword himself. A month before defeating the dummy, he went to meet his friend Kim Ji-han in a Seoul hospital lobby, the same place where his father has been lying in a coma for years. Kim Ji-han finds it hilarious that people are still clinging to the hope of breaking a wooden dummy. He knows that raw physical power isn't enough. Suddenly, Hyun-soo crashes the party. Annoyed about receiving a call during the day, Kim Ji-han explains he couldn't meet in the evening due to work. Our protagonist asks what he wants. Ji-han comments on Hyun-soo's heavy clothes, asking if he isn't dying of heat. Our hero snaps back with a threat, making Kim Ji-han apologize instantly. Getting straight to the point, Kim Ji-han asks if Hyun-soo knows about the game Ares. He explains it's the era's most famous game, powered by advanced AI. He tells him about a special beginner event where no one has succeeded yet. Surprise a VVIP gaming capsule worth 50 million won. Hyun-soo asks what the point is when a billion others have failed, adding that he doesn't play games anyway. Kim Ji-han admits it's tough, but insists it's not impossible. He believes that when it comes to breaking the wooden dummy, our boy is the only one with a shot. Kim Ji-han leads him to a room filled with gaming capsules. He reveals he bought a standard Ares capsule worth 10 million won specifically for his friend. Hyun-soo freaks out at the cost. The friend argues it's a worthy investment, explaining that players can earn rewards and trade them for real currency. Kim Ji-han suggests they go inside. Our protagonist asks where he got the money for such an expensive capsule, but his friend brushes it aside, urging him to think about the potential earnings. Skeptical, Hyun-soo asks if there's any guarantee of profit. Calling the idea crazy, Kim Ji-han defends his plan, insisting our hero genuinely has a shot. Hyun-soo demands to know where this confidence comes from. That's when Kim Ji-han spills the beans. The blacksmith class exists in Ares. He points out Hyun-soo's true identity. As the heir to a world-renowned master craftsman, he believes the wooden dummy is no match for our boy's skills. Our protagonist finally reveals the scar. Left by his accident, he tells Kim Ji-han he hasn't seen his true state since that tragedy. Hyun-soo admits he's in no condition to try anything. Memories of the fire resurface. The accident took everything. He barely survived, but his father never regained consciousness, and the medical bills crushed the family. Forced into manual labor, Hyun-soo spent 10 years following in his father's footsteps, but that life is over. He confesses that since the accident, his right arm has been useless. Basic labor is difficult, let alone blacksmithing. He assures Kim Ji-han he'll handle his own problems and demands the capsule be returned, calling his friend a fool for wasting money. Before heading off to his part-time job, Kim Ji-han shouts after him, insisting our boy is the real fool. He asks how long Hyun-soo can keep struggling with hospital bills. Ji-han asks if he intends to leave his body in that state forever, claiming the game could fix everything. He points out that the treatment costs nearly 3,000 but urges him not to give up, swearing to take responsibility for the 10 million won. Kim Ji-han begs our protagonist to listen, just once. The memory of the fire flashes through Hyun-soo's mind. Later at a construction site, he tries to concentrate, but finds his thoughts muddled by Kim Ji-han's words. As he works, the sound of metal echoes in his heart, stirring deep nostalgia drawn by this feeling. Our hero returns to the room with the game capsules, convinced that the sound of metal led him and remembering Kim Ji-han's encouragement. Hyun-soo decides to enter the game. He promises his father he'll hear that sound again. As soon as he logs in, system messages welcome him to Ares. He chooses the nickname Hyun-soo. During customization, the system analyzes his body and notes the scar. It asks if he wants to keep this appearance. Our boy agrees. The process ends and he enters the game world. Immediately, Hyun-soo notices two crazy things. The scar on his face has vanished, and full strength has returned to his right hand. He resolves to work hard and repay the 10 million won debt he is randomly summoned to the beginner zone. In the barren region, arriving at Ren's blacksmith workshop, Inside, he finds an old blacksmith struggling with his work. The man declares he'll craft a sword superior to his opponent's desperation. Marking every strike, our protagonist interrupts. Stating that the method isn't correct, the blacksmith, stunned, asked what he just said. Hyun-soo repeats himself, insisting that the approach is dead wrong. The blacksmith is stunned. He asks if his ears are playing tricks on him. Our protagonist repeats himself. The current method is flawed. Hyun-soo admits it's none of his business, but he couldn't just stand there and watch a craftsman fail, so hard figuring he has nothing to lose. The blacksmith tosses him the hammer. He challenges our boy to put his money where his mouth is, warning that he'll be watching like a hawk. This works perfectly for Hyun-soo, who intended to ask for the workshop anyway. He sets one condition if he proves his ability. He keeps the sword he crafts. In return, he promises to show the old man something truly worth seeing. The blacksmith calls him arrogant, but admits he likes the kid's guts. However, he warns there will be a steep price for failure. Hyun-soo agrees. It's been 3 years since he last worked, despite his bold talk. Our protagonist wonders if he is rusty. But as soon as he strikes the metal, muscle memory kicks in, familiar sensations flood back, and our boy's confidence skyrockets. He feels pure happiness returning to his element. The blacksmith watches, initially writing him off as a total noob. Soon, though, he has to admit Hyun-soo's form is solid. Still, the old man is convinced a beginner will hit a wall eventually. In this world, results are the only thing that matters. The blacksmith assumes this is a waste of time, until something crazy happens. He spots Hyun-soo using a next-level technique to purge impurities. The blacksmith wondering why he never thought of that. Suspecting a trick, he uses his special skill to scan the steel. Result shocks him. The metal jumped from grade D to grade C. In the blink of an eye, he realizes this young man is the real deal. Time flies, and the blacksmith dozes off. At dawn, Hyun-soo finally wraps up. A new message pops up: steel grade B. The blacksmith wakes up speechless. He's never seen anyone reach grade B without using special game skills. But our hero isn't stopping. With growing disbelief, the old man realizes Hyun-soo is aiming even higher. As exhaustion sets in, the impressed blacksmith jumps in to help. Together, they finish refining the metal. They stare in awe at the result, a grade A ingot capable of forging a rare greatsword. The blacksmith explains that in all his years there, he's never seen anyone produce a magic grade item, let alone rare excited. He tells Hyun-soo that together, they can craft a one-of-a-kind weapon. Our protagonist keeps him grounded, insisting it's too early to pop the champagne. They still need to finish the handle and polish the blade. The blacksmith laughs, admitting he's never met anyone quite like Hyun-soo. Our boy simply says he's been obsessed with blacksmithing since he was a kid. The blacksmith suggests forging the sword again, this time with new material. He pulls out the big guns, a large gleaming piece of mithril, a family heirloom passed down through generations. Hyun-soo asks why he's being entrusted with something so precious. The old man answers that he's learned a ton just by watching and wants to see what a true master can pull off. Our protagonist is thrilled to work with legendary metal. It's a risk, but he can't resist. The blacksmith asks if he can call Hyun-soo master. Our hero shuts that down immediately, threatening to quit if he hears that title again. The blacksmith agrees to drop it. 1 month later, the legendary sword Daylight is completed. It boasts extraordinary attack power and stats never before seen in the beginner's zone. Meanwhile, at the management center, developers are freaking out over an anomaly caused by a level 1 player. The team leader is impressed, but a colleague notes that Hyun-soo requested strict confidentiality. The leader concludes he must have personal reasons for staying under the radar. Back in the game, the team leader checks on Hyun-soo's location. His colleague reports that our protagonist has entered the hunting training center inside. A trainer named Wilson greets him with open disdain. He warns that real monsters appear there and that a level 1 player stands 0 chance. He tells Hyun-soo to get lost and go hunt rabbits. Instead, our boy, confident in his hidden stats, refuses to waste time. Relson reluctantly agrees to let him try, telling him to pick a practice sword. Hyun-soo declines, stating he'll use his own. Turns out our protagonist spent a full month rotting in the beginner's zone, a place most players speedrun in 30 minutes. But this intense grind wasn't a waste. It led to a massive boost in his basic stats. On top of that, he's now swinging the only epic grade sword in the entire area. But the kicker, Hyun-soo, is still level 1 and hasn't even chosen a class yet. Meanwhile, team leader Kim Taek is sweating over this weird case. He wonders if they should let the super AI, Ares, handle everything. A high-ranking executive just smiles, knowing a legendary class offer is already waiting for our boy. Back in the game, Relson laughs in his face at the idea of Hyun-soo using a self-made sword. The instructor thinks it's pathetic to risk a future on a useless profession like blacksmithing as the test begins. Wilson stresses that a trained swordsman is far more important than some shoddy weapon. He mocks the blacksmith. Want to be tanking his affinity with our hero? Hyun-soo is used to this crap. In reality, his dream was always brushed aside as trash. Yet he senses that in Ares, his efforts might finally pay off. Our protagonist asks about the best swordsman trained here, then straight up demands a test, harder than anything they faced. Relson is pissed at the arrogance, but he recognizes the guts. Provoked, he agrees to a special trial, explaining that only the chosen few get this shot. He drags Hyun-soo to another area, noting that the current record is the third stage trial. Wilson summons a level 6 Swift Goblin, warning that failure means a week-long ban. Our hero ignores the threat and asks if the third stage is the limit. He declares he's taking every trial available. Relson, insulted, snaps and summons the fourth final stage trial monster. A level 15 Mad Goblin. Few have passed the third, and no one has ever cleared the fourth. All hell breaks loose. The goblin goes feral, attacking viciously, but our boy dodges like a pro. Hyun-soo knows a blacksmith can sense the latent power in a weapon. He activates Daylight skill, durable sword increasing his physical defense. Blade screams with power as Hyun-soo declares, no weapon here can beat what he's created. He drops the Swift Goblin instantly. Suddenly, another goblin ambushes him. Landing a heavy blow, Wilson notes the critical hit, assuming our hero is toast. Yet the outcome shocks everyone. Hyun-soo tanks the hit with 82% of his health remaining. Our protagonist credits his survival to the endless hours spent crafting, which drastically spiked his strength and vitality. Relson warns that the real nightmare is just starting. Mad Goblin unleashes a special move called Thorns of Madness, making our boy see stars with dizziness. Though Wilson is impressed, he thinks the fight is over. Our boy steadies himself, trusting his weapon. He activates Daylight's passive skill, Swift Blade, which hugely boosts attack speed. Hyun-soo unleashes a rapid flurry of strikes, bridging the level gap. The developers watching the action unfold are losing their minds with a final blow. Hyun-soo wipes out the remaining goblins. Wilson is stunned, shouting that this is impossible. He praises Hyun-soo, realizing every move drew out the sword's full power. The instructor guesses our hero must have a background in swordsmanship. Hyun-soo simply explains that he only learned one thing. A true blacksmith must be able to handle the weapons he creates. Relson notices the muscles and scars on his arms, clear proof of the relentless grind. He realizes he is witnessing a real craftsman and apologizes for being a jerk earlier. Respecting this talent, Relson suggests Hyun-soo become a Mad Master. A window pops up offering the class change, quest for the legendary class. Mad Master, meanwhile, the developers are freaking out. The Mad Master class is even more prestigious than the epic Mad Knight, automatically making Hyun-soo a VIP user. The team leader knows there's no turning back. This class would make our protagonist a protector of the world in the game. Relson urges Hyun-soo to accept, assuring him he could be a king among knights. However, our boy shuts him down. He declares that he is a blacksmith, not a knight, everyone. From Relson to the management center is floored. Relson laughs in admiration, calling Hyun-soo's persistence incredible. Our hero reflects that he never thought he'd wield a hammer again. But here his life as a blacksmith is truly restarting. Relson accepts his choice. He hands over a recommendation letter for a hidden quest and gives our boy a piece of rusty armor, once worn by a Mad Master. Relson encourages him to accomplish what others couldn't. Our protagonist promises to do his best. Developers agree that Hyun-soo has overcome his greatest crisis and that his potential is insane. Now our hero sets out on his path to become the god of blacksmithing. System messages spam the screen, announcing the end of the tutorial and the start of the main quest. The real game is about to begin. But before our protagonist can even make a move, he gets booted, force logged out. Back in reality, Hyun-soo faces the cold, hard truth gas bills, and hospital fees have left his bank account on life support. He knows his top priority is keeping a roof over his family's head. Kim Ji-han calls, asking if he finished the training zone. Our boy replies that he just reached the village, and Kim Ji-han is hyped. He encourages Hyun-soo to head straight to the auction house, explaining that gold equals real cash. He admits this financial opportunity is the only reason he dragged Hyun-soo into Ares. Before hanging up, Ji-han drops a truth bomb. He's never seen anything better than the swords Hyun-soo and his father crafted. He predicts that with the VIP capsule's 99.9% synchronization, the results will be insane. He urges our hero to flood the world with his masterpieces. Hyun-soo feels a surge of gratitude after the call. He decides to focus on crafting and questing to make bank. He understands that stamina management is key. He starts exercising in the real world, noting that while gaming drains energy, nothing compares to the grueling grind of real blacksmithing. As he runs, he makes a silent promise to his father to endure this. Returning to Ares, our hero hits the auction house. He names his shop Hyan's Forge after creating the shop tool. The system grants him access to the auction panel from anywhere. He selects a prototype sword he made in the workshop. Hyan's first sword, it's a rare grade weapon. Similar swords usually sell for 70 gold, but he lists it for 100 gold. Planning to explore the village while he waits, suddenly the auction board lights up. Players notice a weird new listing, and the bidding for Hyun-soo's sword skyrockets, quickly smashing past 300 gold pieces. This frenzy catches the eye of a member of the Gold Shield Guild. He rushes to tell the vice captain, explaining that the creator is a level 1 player with no class yet. He crafted a top-tier sword using primitive raw materials. The weapon even has an enhancement option. The vice captain is impressed. Using low-quality materials usually tanks the enhancement success rate, meaning the creator cleverly cut costs while maintaining quality. He concludes that this weapon is viable up to level 50. Realizing the honor of discovering such a talent, he decides to buy it immediately. Meanwhile, Hyun-soo wonders if his practice piece will even sell. Suddenly, a notification pops up. Hayan's first sword has been sold. Our boy is shocked by the speed. He checks the final price and sees it closed at 1,008 gold pieces, far above his 100 gold, quickly doing the math. He realizes this equals more than 1,000,000 Korean won. Joy and disbelief flood over him. Hyun-soo discovers that the buyer is the Golden Shield Guild. He receives a DM offering an exclusive sales contract or a spot in the guild. Guild info reveals they are a massive blacksmithing group with 780,000 followers. Hyun-soo knows gaining followers is much harder than just leveling up, and a large following translates directly to profit. Checking Hyun's forge, he sees he has only 82. However, his message box is overflowing with offers from other guilds. Our protagonist realizes that Ares is a sanctuary for blacksmiths, even if he's a nobody in reality. He finds new value here, where a craftsman's skills are backed by cold, hard data. He decides that now isn't the right time to join a guild. Instead, he heads to the Lord's castle, determined to prove his worth on his own terms. Inside the castle, Lord Burns is stressing out with his advisor Bell. The Lord wonders if repairing an artifact is impossible. Elle explains that failure could mean the piece is lost forever, insisting they need the continent's best restoration expert. However, he adds that this expert is eccentric and refuses to meet anyone. The Lord is crushed. He can't leave his territory to seek help, especially since the unique bow is his father's only legacy. But here is the twist. Bell is actually a level 100 scammer, disguised as a blacksmith. He has spent a week earning the Lord's trust with the sole purpose of ripping him off. He offers to take the bow to the capital for restoration, demanding 300 gold pieces in exchange. At that exact moment, Hyun-soo kicks the door in. He declares that the bow can be restored right here. Bell, realizing his scam is about to be ruined, is absolutely furious. Lord Burns is skeptical. He asks if Hyun-soo can truly restore the burnt bow right here in the castle without a proper workshop. He orders a guard to verify the kid's identity, and the guard confirms that this is indeed the person sent by Instructor Wilson. Surprised by the connection, the Lord formally asks Hyun-soo to state his specs. Standing before the Lord of Banan, our protagonist introduces himself. Name Hyun-soo, level 1 class. Unemployed. Bell loses his mind. He can't believe a level 1 noob would speak so confidently. In front of the Lord, the scammer protests, claiming restoration is high-level content, reserved for blacksmiths above level 80. He accuses Hyun-soo of wasting their time and orders him to get out. Our boy calmly shuts him down. He explains that the weapon isn't a standard recurve bow but a horn bow, a traditional composite weapon. Both Lord Burns and Bell look confused. Hyun-soo explains he learned the backstory from Guard Baker. He knows the Lord wants to restore his late father's bow, a gift from a mysterious foreigner. Lord Burns confirms the bow is unique, but admits he's sick of strangers making false promises. He warns Hyun-soo to back up his words with proof. Our hero asks to verify one thing, and then drops a bombshell. Even though it was gifted by a foreigner, the bow was actually crafted right here in this land. Hyun-soo lays out his deduction. He saw a painting of a water buffalo in the hall, and the horns of that animal are precious crafting materials. But the real kicker is the bow's curvature. He reveals the crucial detail. It was made using whale sinew, not cow sinew. He asks for confirmation, and Lord Burns is floored. Hyun-soo is spot on. The Lord explains the foreigner was a blacksmith friend of his father's. He confirms the materials: giant buffalo horns and whale sinew from Barden Swamp. Using these rare local resources, his father's friend created the finest bow ever seen in Barden. The Lord is deeply impressed by Hyun-soo's eye for detail, especially since Bell, the supposed level 115 master, missed all of it. Convinced, Lord Burns officially asked him to restore the bow. Hyun-soo accepts the quest, the reward, a cool 500 gold pieces. The Lord orders Bell to leave the room. The fraud exits furious and swearing revenge on Hyun-soo for blowing up his scheme. The Lord asks what is needed, and our boy rattles off the list: buffalo horns, whale sinew, specific woods, and finishing tools. He demonstrates complete mastery of the bow's construction. He receives the restoration method for the sniper's horn bow. But there is a catch. A warning pops up. If the success rate falls below 70%, the restoration will fail, and the bow will be destroyed forever. Hyun-soo recalls learning to make bows from his father. His dad once asked if he enjoyed the craft. Despite the calluses, the young boy replied that what he loved most was doing it together. His father promised to teach him true blacksmith when he got older, but for now, he had to master the raw materials. Our hero whispers, "Yes, Dad," feeling the familiar sensation in his hands. He trusts he can do this, impressed by his confidence. Lord Burns offers to help the two work together tirelessly. Our protagonist gets lost in shaping the wood, while the Lord lends a hand. Burns admits that manual labor is tough and his strength is fading, but seeing the joy on Hyun-soo's face gives him energy. After a full week, the tired lord asks if he should return to his duties. Our boy requests he stay to help with the final installation. He realizes the lord returns daily because he desperately wants to restore his father's memento. With his own hands, Lord Burns confirms this, admitting the bow is the only memory he has left. He asks Hyun-soo why he loves this work so much. Our hero smiles, explaining that his own best memories are tied to the craft too. They agree that restoring memories takes time and sweat. Days turn into weeks, 20 days of grinding pass. At last, the final day arrives. The restoration of the sniper's horn bow is complete. It is reborn as an epic weapon, with stats far superior to the original. Lord Burns stands before his father's statue and wonders if his old man is watching. Hyun-soo suggests the Lord try it out. Burns releases an arrow and notes that it doesn't just feel the same. It feels even better, laughing joyfully. He declares it a masterpiece. A quest completion message pops up. The system announces that Hyun-soo's affinity with Lord Burns has reached the maximum. The incredible success rating exceeded 10%. The Lord thanks our protagonist, saying he can finally be at peace. However he feels, the promised reward is chump compared to what Hyun-soo accomplished. Because of the massive success, the quest reward gets an upgrade. Along with 2,000 gold pieces, the Lord grants him free use of the castle's blacksmith workshop. Our boy is genuinely happy. He does the math. 2,000 gold is about 20 million. One that covers his father's medical bills for a long time. With admiration, the Lord asks our hero a question that comes out of nowhere. Has he ever considered learning swordsmanship? Lord Burns drops a secret from his past. Before he became the Lord, he was a swordsman. He tells Hyun-soo about first swordsmanship, a legendary art famous for subduing countless monsters. The Lord admits that while Hyun-soo is a natural-born blacksmith, he also sees the potential of a true swordsman in him. With instructor Relson's recommendation and his own observations, Burns offers to share his essence. He presents a skill quest to learn the technique, assuring Hyun-soo that with his grit, success is in the bag for our boy. This training is a massive, unexpected gift. Hyun-soo works like a machine, crafting his own horn bow, restoring the rusty Mad Master armor, and enduring intensive training. He spars daily with Lord Burns until he masters the course. When it's time to leave, our hero tells the Lord he is fully prepped. Wearing his newly restored armor and carrying his custom bow, he declares his next goal, getting a proper profession. He says goodbye to Burns and organizes his inventory. He reviews his gear. The Mad Master armor compensates for his low level with a damage reflection skill, while the new bow boasts a crazy 60% accuracy boost. To fund his journey, he crafts several rare bows and lists them in the auction house. He checks the listing for Hyan's second bow elsewhere. Flame leader of the Golden Shield Guild watches the auction in total disbelief. He notes that even Korea's #1 player, Black, never made a bow of this quality at level 10. Flame marvels at how our protagonist crafted such an item at level 1 using trash-tier materials. He recalls the words of the world's greatest blacksmith, Smith the AI. Ares decides everything if the system is impressed. It grants a fitting title. Flame figures, the master of Hyun's workshop, must possess a legendary class title to produce artifacts at this level. Back with Hyun-soo, our boy is stunned to see his bow's final price, 2,050 gold pieces. He realizes this equals roughly 25 million, one life-changing money for a single weapon. He also notices his follower count has skyrocketed to 300. His inbox is flooded with guild invitations. Feeling ready, our hero sets his sights on the holy land of blacksmiths.